app from your app store and stream KDAWN anytime, anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment coming at you live here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. I'm Mark Hoke, the aforementioned one, host of this little shindig, and very excited to have you along for the ride today. A lot of news. Wasn't a ton of stuff happening in ring this week, but a lot happened outside of it, and we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Some people making some bank this week, like Tony Khan, for example, from AEW. This is going to be a fun show, and we're excited to have you along with us. And, of course, you guys know that I usually don't play this ball game alone. I got to bring somebody else in, have a great time, and we welcome in our good friend from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling down there in Austin, Texas, the aficionado, the announcer, the king of Texas wrestling. I'm just going to give you the heck with Booker T.
No.
Needs Booker T around. When I got Stu Myrick, what's up?
I don't know if I'm the king of Texas wrestling. That's probably going to go to actually, there is a wrestler local here, Lil Evil, formerly known as Prince Adam, that is trying to get that moniker. I appreciate. Hey, Mark, how you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming on the show. I do appreciate it.
This
has been a business week in pro wrestling, to say the least.
Well, if you believe John Orand, yeah, it sure has.
Yeah, lots of interesting reports coming out this week. We're going to talk about that. AEW Grand Slam coming up during the show. Of course, we got you for 2 hours here. Bad Blood from WWE is coming up here in a couple of weeks out of Atlanta. I mean, there contracts, all sorts of crazy stuff. And even JBL. We got to talk about JBL a little bit, just a little later on. I mean, all sorts of fun things happening. So we're going to dive into what I would have to say is the biggest story of the week at this point. And Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast is reporting first that the deal with AEW and HBO Max is all set and that they will be streaming their pay-per-views, and I would imagine putting all their content and everything else up on HBO Max pay-per-views at the latest would be starting in January. So guys, we may only have to shell out $50 a couple more times. Just get your, if you have HBO, you're good. If not, get your $9.99 out for the month. But some terrific news there for AEW. And there's also a report out that this TV deal for them is done as well. They are saying that it's around, let's see, and there was John Rand of the Pucks, the Varsity, reporting 4-year deal, 3 guaranteed, $170 million. And this is going to involve TNT, TBS, and True TV, which I thought was kind of cute. And of course, we're talking about the possibly being on Fox as well. Grand Slam may have a big announcement, Stu. I have a feeling this is gonna be something.
Yeah, I got a feeling that. First of all, John Orand, who's one of the preeminent reporters on the business side of sports. He takes care of the NFL. He takes care of the NBA. Talks about TV deals. Talks about ownership changes and all that good stuff. So if he puts out if he files a report, you can probably believe it. And this report here, again, 3 years guaranteed, option for a fourth, $170 million a year. That's pretty good. That's some money. That I think John said that would make them the second highest grossing wrestling company in the world next to WWE, of course. So that's, and if that's the case, yeah, congratulations to Tony and to everybody at AEW. The thought of, and I think it said 2 times a week on TBS, TNT, and True TV. Now, True TV, if you go back, I think it was about a month or so, there was a investor call with Warner Brothers Discovery, and the execs at WBD had mentioned the fact they want to take True TV and basically make it their sports network. They're moving a lot of their sports properties, the NHL. They've got college football on there already. I think I want to say it's the Mountain West Conference. But nevertheless, they're trying to move as much sports content onto True TV as possible. So obviously AEW would fall in line with that. They did a deal. They did a deal this week on the pennant race in Major League Baseball. So that'll be interesting. Now, does that mean original shows, or is that replays of Dynamite and Collision, whatever? So we'll see what happens with that. As far as the broadcast package, AEW apparently pitching a broadcast package. Everybody's saying the most likely landing spot would be Fox. Fox, they don't have SmackDown anymore. They want to, they've got this Friday night college football slot, which I have my own feelings about it, but it could make sense if this Shockwave is supposed to be a new show. Could that land on Fox? Sure. Could it land on another broadcast network? We know it won't be NBC because they're tied with WWE now. But there is this CW, which they've got an NXT, they got the NWA. Could they have AEW? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this is going to be a great deal, and I think we will see the fruits of it. I would expect an announcement on Wednesday when AEW hits Arthur Ashe Stadium for Grand Slam.
Yeah, I would think so too. And when you look at this deal, and I can't wait to see the final part of this. The True TV, I was like, well, it makes sense. It's funny because every time we watch the NCAA tournament, the Major League Baseball playoffs come up, and so on. That's when you hear about True TV if you're doing any sports type stuff.
Yeah.
And so it does make sense to involve them in that. I'm intrigued first by if they pull something off on Fox. That is especially if they're on the main network. I don't know if they will or not. I'm here in FS1, but that's a huge deal for them to get on Fox to get more eyes on the product. But I am mostly excited about this HBO Max thing. I mean, other than they're locking it in and we've got the 3 or 4 years of AEW TV guaranteed. But the HBO Max deal gives AEW a chance to put all their content somewhere. And that, I would imagine, would include Ring of Honor. And I'm almost wondering if Ring of Honor is going to be on one of these shows. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, that would be a cool thing for True TV to get. But then you also have the pay-per-views that now, instead of having to shell out $50 and maybe 100 to 70,000 people see that, now you're going to get millions of eyes on the pay-per-views too.
You're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're absolutely right. And I think it's a matter of, look, wrestling fans are now accustomed to streaming pay-per-views. We've had, WWE pay-per-views on WWE Network, and of course now on Peacock. Now it's 10 years now.
Yeah.
So the notion of paying $50 for a pay-per-view, that's my generation. That's
right.
That goes back. So to be able to do that on Max and put the content, the archives, whatever, on Max, that would be big. The Ring of Honor talk is it's somewhat fascinating, just because So right now, everything that Ring of Honor has, it's on their Honor Club. You pay, I think it's $9.99 a month for that. There has been calls at least a year or so ago about, can Ring of Honor land on a cable TV, on a cable network or whatever. Those calls have kind of quieted down a little bit. I would like to see it, if for no other reason. I've been a fan of Ring of Honor for quite some time. Kerry Silkins is a dear friend of mine. I loved what he did when he was the owner. The reports, both from John Orand and from Andrew Zarian, there has been no mention of Ring of Honor. So
yeah, I find that
we'll
odd.
see. Yeah, we'll see. I would love to see him on a linear cable network, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, and it'll be very interesting to see how they change their schedule too, because some of the rumors we've heard is that they're going to make Dynamite 3 hours and drop Rampage. But I'm curious because when you hear about, okay, they're going to do stuff on True TV. Oh, they want to do stuff on Fox. Are you just going to do some sort of studio show for one of those, or are you going to be producing content? Is it going to be repeats? What I mean, I can't wait to hear where this all ended up. But like I said, I'm very excited for the HBO part, because I don't know if you've encountered this, Stu, but a lot of times when I'm talking to a very casual wrestling fan, I'll say to them, have you watched what'd you think of AEW? And they're like, oh, well, I only watch WWE. And I mean, after all this time, there is still a little bit in the, not among them, the normal wrestling fans, but among a casual person on the street, there's still not that awareness. And putting it on HBO Max now, all of a sudden, I think is going to solve that problem. And then if they pull something off on Fox too, now you're in the ball game. I mean, and pulling in those casual people is, I think Tony needs it right now. So I think that's going to be just such a huge component of all this. I can't wait.
I think you're right. Obviously, with the connection, of course, Tony Khan, also the chief football strategy officer for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They did a profile on him on NFL Network this week, where it was on draft day, where he's talking to potential undrafted free agents, and then heads right over to Daly's place to do AEW. And they followed him through all that, and they even had interviews with Tony Storm and Chris Jericho on that piece. And so you're starting to see a few more eyes on AEW just because of the exposure by the NFL. Obviously being on Max would be a help to that. Being on, if they can find a way to get on Fox on the broadcast channel, yes, that will be a big thing. If it's on FS1, well, I mean, that's nice, but it's kind of like, well, then, they're just on another cable network. So
right.
I think the desire is to get on a broadcast network, whether it's Fox or ABC or CBS, even the CW. So, I mean, obviously none of this is official yet. We haven't heard a word from AEW. We haven't heard a word from Warner Brothers Discovery. So we got to wait for that and see what the details are. But, the future looks very bright for AEW. And look, there are those, you and I have encountered those wrestling fans. If, they announce it at 170, people will cry, why wasn't it 200 million?
Yeah.
If they say 200, why wasn't it 250? There are those that are going to be detractors. Look, $170 million a year for broadcast rights, that's some bank.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's going to pay a lot of bills and give them a lot of resources that they can use, whether it's to sign more talent, although they don't need any more talent, upgrade production, you name it.
Outreach. I think outreach is a big part for them too.
Yeah.
I mean, John and the team over there do a really good job getting their people out to us. You know that.
Oh yeah.
But I think that they're going to have an opportunity to maybe do more things to get into the communities, to maybe go to the colleges, to do more PR type stuff that WWE does, because that's been one of their hallmarks over the years of how they get their fans. They get their people out there.
Yeah.
And it's not that AEW doesn't, but now, I mean, you have a massive roster. Now you're gonna have some money to maybe fly some people around, do more charity events. This is great. And the other thing to me, you were talking about the haters out there. It blows me away when I hear people say stuff like, "Oh, it's only 170 million a year." I'm sitting there saying to myself, are you running a wrestling promotion that you signed a broadcast deal with 2 or 3 networks that got you $170 million? Your answer is no. Stop it. Just stop it. Now, this is a success, and it's a win for wrestling fans. And it's interesting when you contrast how Tony got there. People sometimes say, well, he had the money to do it.
Yeah,
and get everything started. Well, of course he did, but if they didn't put a product together that these networks felt like was sustainable and something that they wanted, they'd be done. Off to the dustbin of wrestling history.
Yeah.
So you have to give them credit for what they did. You can criticize AEW for a lot of things if you want, but in this realm, no, don't. Just don't.
I agree. You talk about the community stuff. Mark Henry, when he was part of AEW, that was one of his primary focuses, was to get AEW connected to community organizations. When they were, they would come to Austin. Mark he had tied him up with, I think it was YMCA here in Austin. In fact, we did a press event. It was Mark and Ricky Starks and Julia Hart and Lee Moriarty, and they were visiting kids at the YMCA. And that was one of his primary goals, was to do that. So I would like to see AEW do more of that, whether you utilize Amanda Huber with that, or somebody that's in the organization. Yeah, they need to up that a little bit more, but yes, having those resources will definitely help. So again, awaiting the announcement, as we like to say.
Yeah. And I'll just say one more point on that before we go to break here on the Mark Hoke Show, that one thing I'd love to see them do is really attack the colleges. I think it would be great if they would start doing a lot of, do more events on college campuses, like here in Las Vegas. Now, I'd like to see them go over to the Thomas and Mack Center and do a show over there, right on UNLV's campus. One of the things that I think you have to do to build that base is you got to hit everybody when they're a little bit younger. So going out and doing shows, maybe, like at UNLV, like, if you're at Penn State, go to the Bryce Jordan Center if you can, or Rec Hall or something, and really hit that
center here in Austin.
Yeah. There's a lot of places you could go, and look, if you got to give out a bunch of free tickets, so what? Doesn't matter. Fill the stands, and make the fans. Maybe if you have to take a little loss here and there to do it. But once again, it's a great opportunity, and I'll tell you what, I could only imagine when I was in college if somebody like Kenny Omega would have showed up at my fraternity house, or been down in the rec center at NDSU. I mean, that would have been unbelievable. We'd have all been freaking out. So that it's just some ideas, but this is going to be a new era for AEW, and I know you and I can't wait. But one thing that cannot wait anymore is our break. We've got to hit a commercial. When we come back, we're going to kind of compare this to what WWE's got going on right now, because they're making some shifts too, and I'm curious to hear about Stu's thoughts on where WWE's going, if they're in the right direction. And of course, we've got that cinematic piece at Georgia Tech. Oh my God, that was something. Stick around. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off-Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115. Or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications in the media. I've been an avid fly fisherman for at least 40 or more years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Robert Strickler is a content contributor for Prevagen and real user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey there, I'm Healthy Hank, your health hero, here to give you little habits for healthy travels. Picture this, you're loading up to hit the road for a day trip with the fam, and you've got a sneezy situation on your hand. A simple act like covering your cough or sneeze into your elbow or a tissue can make a world of difference. And if you're feeling a supervillain brewing inside you, do us all a favor and stay home. Together, we can ensure a safe and healthy journey for everyone. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's keep it rolling here on the Mark Hoke Show on KDAWN 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas, also streaming live on that Odyssey app. Everybody's on the Odyssey app. You should be too. You know,
I am.
Even be good enough sometime to get your own show on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. Download that app, and I guarantee you your spirits will go up infinitely. So get that Odyssey app right now. AUDACY. And of course, we're also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Just find me, The Mark Hoke Show, on YouTube and Facebook, and at Mark Hoke Show on X. And you can join in the fun, you know, get comments like Jesse Hyde just put in here. And I learned a new trick. Jesse saying, if Tony Khan, AEW, and WBD makes some money with that AEW TV deal, don't bet Tony Khan's friend, David Zaslav, is no longer WWE president and CEO in the future after the deal. WBD is owner, in quotes, of AEW. You know, David Zaslav probably cost Warner Brothers and Discovery a little bit of money by losing the NBA, by the way. I guarantee you that that may have... if I was Tony, I would have been jumping up and down when that happened. I really would have.
I was going to say, look, AEW's deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, if David Zaslav is indeed out at WBD, it's not because of AEW. It's because he lost the NBA, and it's a valuable property. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Yeah, and of course, by the way, we're almost Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Make sure you
look at his podcast on the Odyssey app.
It is. There you go. So just Odyssey it up. That's how you do it. So now, comparing this to what's going on with WWE right now, some interesting little machinations going on with those guys as well. Of course, SmackDown has just moved to back to USA Network.
Mhm.
NXT is going to the CW on October 1st. Raw, that date has been announced that they're going to be going to Netflix as of January 6th. And also, at least until June, apparently SmackDown is, I think, starting beginning of the year when they take Raw over to Netflix, SmackDown is going to be 3 hours, which I know many in the wrestling media have cringed over that heavily, but they're saying it's temporary. It's temporary. Stu, are you buying that SmackDown is going to be temporarily 3 hours?
No. If they move it to 3 hours, it's going to be 3 hours. Now, look, it was hard enough to do a 3-hour Raw, even now. And look, Triple H is doing a great job with Raw, but even he has admitted in the past it is much easier to book a 2-hour show. 3 hours, you start to lose the audience. It's simple as that. That's why I hope Dynamite never goes to 3 hours. Look at what happened to Nitro back in the day. When Nitro went to 3 hours, that was one of the first nails in the coffin. They started to lose that, that vibe. And then, they had to start giving away stuff like Goldberg, Hogan, and that type of thing. So I would hope they're not going to make SmackDown 3 hours, but sounds like they're going to. I don't think it's not a good idea in my view. 2 hours is just enough. There's the old saying, especially in show business, you always leave them wanting more.
Right.
And I think that's what you're supposed to. I think that's what this should be. They, 2 hours, leave them wanting more. 3 hours, I think you're overstaying your welcome.
Do you think that there's a concern that, even though WWE got that $5 billion to go on Netflix, do you think they're a little worried about this move? Just a tad?
Sure.
I mean, here's the thing that I was thinking about this morning when I was getting ready for the show, is you're putting Raw behind a paywall, essentially. You've got to have a Netflix membership. Now, do a lot of people have Netflix memberships? Of course they do. I've held out. I don't have one. But still, you're taking Monday Night Raw from being on broadcast TV, and not only are you streaming it, but now you're also streaming it behind something you got to pay for, separate from Peacock or anything else. I wonder if they're just a little nervous about what the result's going to be when they take it over there. I mean, I'm sure they're going to get viewers and all that, but maybe ad revenue concerns if they're adding an extra on SmackDown. That I don't know. There's just something doesn't feel right about that to me.
It's there's that part. Now you're going to take a show that was on a cable network. You're going to put them on a streaming service. Easy for me to say, that you have to pay monthly for, yearly, or whatever. So there's that. There's also the notion of putting a show on a streaming service, a live sporting event, which, we're starting to see more and more happen. The NFL's on Prime Video. You see the NBA on Max sometimes. You'll see, of course, Major League Baseball and Major League Soccer on Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
But we're still kind of in the infancy of that era. So what's going to happen? What are the viewers going to happen? Are you going to get them live? Because Netflix, I would suspect you can watch it whenever you want. So why watch it on a Monday night, especially right now? Especially, someone like me that's an NFL fan, I can watch Raw later. I'm gonna catch Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So it is concerning. Now they're making enough money that those concerns should be mitigated a little, but it's still going to be, this is something experimental, quite honestly.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this is going to be entertaining. Which team, if someone just put those, let's just say the money's equal, which deal would you take, Stu? The one that's rumored to be AEW or WWE? Where would you rather be? Because I know what I'd do, but if I just had that on paper, but then I don't know some of the demographics for Netflix, I guess. But
that's that's the thing, because you still have SmackDown on USA Network. They're still tied to NBC Universal. We got announced last week that Saturday night's main event is coming back to NBC.
Yes,
coming up in December. So you've got that still with you. Raw to Netflix. Netflix has lost some subscribers lately. A lot of it is the simple fact that there are so many streaming services now.
Yeah.
Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV Plus.
And a lot of them are losing money, by the way.
Well, that's the thing. It's getting to where it's all white noise now. They're all, there's too many of them. And it's kind of like we had the tech boom here in Austin back in the early mid 90s, where all these tech companies were opening up left, right. Everybody was tech. And then all of a sudden the bubble burst and most of them are gone. I get the sense that's what's going to happen eventually with all these streaming services. We're already seeing it with, like, you can get Hulu on Disney Plus. You can get, I saw Prime Video also had Paramount Plus. So you're already starting to see not necessarily some mergers, but a little bit of collaboration, consolidation.
Right.
So yeah, that also worries me a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be a really transitional time for television, for professional wrestling. Can't wait to see where this all turns out. But one thing that I saw on TV that I really enjoyed was that cinematic piece with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. If you miss this, 8 minutes of, I'm saying, pure bliss. I love that piece, and just incredibly produced. Jeremy Barash, who used to do a lot of stuff for TNA, is with WWE now, was apparently the driving force behind producing that thing. If you missed it, they went to Georgia Tech Stadium, Roman Reigns' entourage driving him in, and Roman walking out to the 50-yard line, and then Cody coming in his car and meeting them to have a little discussion about this tag team match that they're going to be having at Bad Blood. And just the two of them blew it out of the water. And it was so well produced. I mean, it was movie quality. And I wasn't that excited about this tag match until I saw that piece. And now I'm like, I could care less about the rest of the card. I'm ready to see that match and what happens because of that promo. And it was just so well done, Stu. That's one of the best ones I've ever seen in professional wrestling.
It was very well done. And of course, Jeremy Borash is honestly just about among the best at creating that kind of content. He did the what was it, the Ultimate Deletion or whatever?
Yeah.
Back in TNA. He's done stuff throughout his career, both TNA and WWE. So he knows what he's doing. He really does. Having them come to the 50-yard line there at Georgia Tech, and Roman talking about, it's his place, which, all right, fine. I don't think he's the most well-known Yellow Jacket, but sure. And by the way, Georgia Tech lost yesterday to Louisville, but that's another story.
Wow, taking the pot shot.
And then Cody, I know Cody's a Georgia Bulldog fan, who, by the way, at least I assume in the next AP poll, they'll be number 2 behind, of course, University.
You had to get that in, didn't you, Stu?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's great.
It's been 16 years since we were number one. So got to take the moment.
Yeah, enjoy it.
Anyway, it was really good. If you haven't seen it, WWE's YouTube channel has it up. But really well done. I was intrigued already. If for no other reason, I want to see, let's see the interaction between Cody and Roman. We'll see, so yeah, that'll be good. Could this be when they finally debut Hikuleo as the newest member of the Bloodline? We shall see. They haven't debuted him yet. But yeah, that's very intriguing. If anything, it has helped to revive a little bit of the excitement around the Bloodline story that honestly probably took a little bit backseat after WrestleMania. It's now kind of starting to heat up again. So, but yeah, well done. I mean, in WWE, look, I think WWE could do well to do more of that type of content.
Yeah, and to kind of tie all this together now, you see, with like what Rob Fitting and has done over at WWE since he took over for Kevin Dunn, and now you're seeing all sorts of different camera shots, and then AEW's doing some different things, and you've seen TNA has always been very underrated for some of the production stuff that they do, but it also, I think, is seeing something like that raises the entire bar for professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Because now you're looking at, now you're getting these huge TV deals. You're doing all this neat streaming stuff. And, I'm curious to see what the results are going to be at places like TNA, like MLW, who just, got a nice $20 million influx from WWE. Thank you very much. Even like the NWA, are these companies now looking and saying, man, we've been doing things this way for so long. Is it time that we step our game up? And, and obviously some of that is budgetary, that, WWE has the ability to do things other companies don't. But, maybe you throw a little money at something every once in a while when you can and say, we've got to, like for the NWA, we've got to produce something really cool to get people's attention for a title match we got coming up at like NWA 77, and stuff like that. I'm intrigued by how the rising tide is going to raise all these boats doing stuff like this.
I think that, it does show that production is a huge part of the success of a wrestling promotion. Look, TNA has been, and they have been on a roll for the last, 2-3 years at least, coming out of the pandemic. They have put on some fantastic shows. AEW, of course, they're doing more and more stuff. The new look of WWE, of course, is fantastic. And I think it's a matter of whether you're talking, Triple H and Lee Fitting, you're talking Tony Khan, you're talking, the folks at TNA, or, Billy Corgan with NWA, Court Bauer with MLW. I think it's a matter of, all right, maybe we need to look at our production. Maybe we need to look at some of the things, there's been a traditional presentation of pro wrestling, and that presentation is now changing.
Yes,
almost weekly.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I think some of these other companies need to pay attention to it. Yes, they can't do it all, but there's some things they could probably incorporate with modest expenditure. And I think it could help. Yeah, like you said, I think it could help them all. It is an interesting time, like you said, with pro wrestling right now.
Yeah, we're not stuck back in Kevin Dunn 1989. It's time to push the envelope just a little bit. All right, well, we've got to take another break, but before we do, I would just want to remind everybody that if you're going to be doing some traveling to any of these pro wrestling events, or just work or whatever, I want to save you some money. Let's go to Travel Shark. Go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. It's thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. And it's powered by Priceline. And instead of having to do one of those mystery picks where, I'm going to get a discounted hotel, but I don't know what it is, the Travel Shark is going to show you all those rates. So if you want to start booking your rooms for WrestleMania right now here in Las Vegas, you can do it and get great deals. Go to thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show and sign up right now. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be glad you did, man. There are incredible deals on that website. So take a look at it. thetravelshark.com/Hoke Show. All right, stick around, everybody, when we come back. Speaking of WWE, there's a potential match that somehow has slipped everybody's mind that popped up on X this week. I'm going to see if Stu knows what I'm talking about. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, right here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas.
Eager to hit the jackpot of adventure? El Monte RV Sales in Las Vegas has the keys to your next journey. With over 50 years in the business, we offer unbeatable prices on 2023 and 2024 like-new motorhomes. Whether you're exploring the dazzling lights of the Strip, the stunning landscapes of the Nevada desert, or exciting destinations across the Southwest, we've got you covered. Enjoy our flexible finance options, extended service plans, and our Road Bear certified motor homes. Visit us at 3800 Boulder Highway, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89121. Conveniently located just off the 15 freeway. Call us at 1-833-279-1756 or go to elmontervsales.com to find your dream motorhome today.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Hey, football fans. Looking to get in on the action every day of the week this season? Just check out BetMGM Ultimate Teams. It's free to play. Visit your promotions page each weekday, and you'll receive an Ultimate Teams card with a pro football team and spread. If the team on your card covers the spread that Sunday, you'll score a prize. Rewards include Parlay Boost tokens, Odds Boost tokens, SGP Parlay Boost tokens, No Sweat tokens, and bonus bets. If all 5 of the teams on your cards cover their spreads for the week, you'll have a shot to score our grand prize of up to $1,000. Log into your BetMGM account to get started, then visit your promotions page and click on BetMGM Ultimate Teams to get your cards. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Nevada only. Existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary by market and expire within 24 hours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, mgmresorts.com/GameSense.
101.5 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
Hey, let's get back in that squared circle, shall we? The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on The Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. I am joined by the co-host of Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick. You can follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRICK. And you should check out his show because it's pretty darn good. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have him on the show. He's a great guy and a terrific broadcaster. So
appreciate that.
Absolutely. We love you up here, Stu. Couldn't ever pry you out of Texas to get you up in Las Vegas, but not a chance.
I love Austin too much.
Too much good food down there, by the way.
Too much good food, too much fun. Got Formula One coming in 3 weeks.
Oh, well, we've got coming.
I know y'all hate it, but we have fun. Now it's going to be a crazy weekend because not only you got Formula One here, it's also the weekend that you're going to have probably, in all likelihood, number 1, number 2 teams in the country facing off when Georgia comes to Austin to face the Longhorns at Texas Memorial Stadium on that Saturday. So it is going to be a crazy weekend.
Wow. Yeah, we're just starting to get our Formula One construction rolling here again, and golly, it's been great already.
See that? You need a track like we've got.
I know. We have one. We've got a whole speedway.
Now the only problem with it's out in the boonies. You can't get there without driving at least 20-25 minutes because it's out in the boonies, but it's a good facility, and they just repaved the track, so new asphalt on the track. So because we had heard last year, a lot of the drivers were talking about you could feel some tremors, some that type of some vibration. So they've resurfaced the track, so should be good to go coming October. I think it's 19th or 20th or something like that. It's that third Sunday in October.
Yeah, gee whiz, I can't wait till our streets on the Las Vegas Strip get repaved. Don't remind me, Stu. Don't remind me. By the way, Jesse Hyde in the chat box real quick said GCW cutting ties with Zillafal too. It's like WWE's trying to make a Bloodline 2.0, a Samoan Tongan NWO with The Rock. Yeah, that's a possibility. We also got my good buddy buying Scoop. Mark, see you later. Scoop! Good to see you, buddy. One of the best photographers in professional wrestling. He's pretty amazing. So good to see you, Scoop.
I hope they don't make the Bloodline into the NWO. NWO got way too big.
I'm concerned they're going to wolf pack this thing. I hope they don't, but fingers crossed that they'll keep this somewhat under control. Because if you remember the tree graphic, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of them out there.
Well, Zilla Vatu worked Reality Wrestling quite a bit. Booker T's promotion down in Houston.
Yeah.
I just, they need to not do that. They need to keep it, at a decent size, and just don't try to recruit every Tongan or Samoan that's out there.
Right. I wholeheartedly agree. Well, the two guys that should be keeping that under control are Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. Of course, Adam Pearce, the GM of Monday Night Raw, and Nick Aldis, the GM of SmackDown. Now, Stu, I don't know if you saw this on X, but a match that I thought of right away when Nick Aldis was first introduced as the SmackDown general manager was Adam Pearce against Nick Aldis. Now, you would say, well, that's cute, but there's way more behind this if you don't know.
Absolutely.
Both multiple-time NWA world champions. Multiple times. Pierce was a 5-time champion for the NWA, and Aldis a 3-time, 2-time or 3-time. I'm sorry, I totally blanked it out. I have the chart.
It's 3.
No, I have the chart. But anyway, Nick, was an active wrestler before he, signed with WWE, and he's been just doing this whole thing with being the GM, and it's a 2-time champ. By the way, there we go. So Pierce put up a post on Instagram that showed up on X where somebody asked him, would you ever come back to active wrestling to face Nick Aldis? And he started talking about it and saying, I hung it up for a while. That would I come back to do it? And then stopped. Well, Mr. Aldis had something to say about that. He put up a Twitter of him in the weight room saying, after much deliberation, I've decided to respond to this post by my Raw counterpart. We both enjoyed a decorated tenure in our careers before WWE. There is no doubt you and I respect the legacy and tradition of our industry. So you're asking if I would step in the ring with you? Time will tell. Stu, I want that match. I want that match. Survivor Series. You could even make this a feud if you wanted to. If Scrap Daddy's ready to roll, Because Aldis definitely is. What do you think?
It's very intriguing. Look, I would love. Look, nobody respects the NWA World Heavyweight Championship more than me. I love that title. It's the oldest title in the United States. I have had the privilege of holding that championship belt on multiple occasions. I even called an NWA World Heavyweight Championship match with that belt on my shoulder.
Wow.
When Godzilla Jack's Dame was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So I have the utmost respect for that title. If that match were to happen, Adam Pearce versus Nick Aldis, WWE would have to play a lot of background on that one.
Yep.
So, it'd be interesting.
Call Billy Corgan and get that done. I'm sure he wouldn't complain about it, but I think that would be fantastic to see it. So I'm going to be watching that one very closely and see if these two start getting into it a little bit. And that's going to wrap up hour number 1 here on the Mark Hoke Show. Hour 2 coming your way. Stu Myrick's going to stick around. And, of course, we'd like to hear from you. Get in that chat box on X, Facebook, or Twitter, or X, Facebook, and YouTube. And have some fun with us. We love to hear from all of you out there. So hop in and tell us what you think about everything. We come back, we're going to talk a little AEW Grand Slam. And a lot of people moving around. Maybe. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around, everybody.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Dive into a savory 8-ounce New York steak seasoned to perfection and cooked to order, alongside 4 succulent pan-fried shrimp served every day from 4 to 10 p.m. at Jerry's Nugget Casino. This combo meal is a tasty sensation and comes with choice of soup or salad, choice of potato, and garlic bread. You want a delicious meal at tremendous value, right? Then visit Jerry's Nugget today and enjoy steak and shrimp for $16.89. Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
Jerry's Nugget Casino, your kind of place.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Unsafe sleep conditions cause serious injury and even death to infants. Never sleep with your baby on a sofa, in a chair, or in an adult bed. Protect the baby you love from becoming a tragic statistic. The only safe place for your baby to sleep is alone, on its back, in a crib, and in your room. For more information, visit cribsforkids.org. That's cribsforkids.org. This message is sponsored by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey there, I'm Healthy Hank, your health hero, here to give you little habits for healthy travels. Picture this. You're on a road trip making a quick pit stop at the gas station. Before you dive into those irresistible gas station snacks, remember to wash your hands after using the pump. Those pumps can be a breeding ground for germs. Together, we can ensure a safe and healthy journey for everyone. Stay safe, and let's conquer those germs together. This message is sponsored by a CDC grant through the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Odyssey app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or two, we'll let you know. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Odyssey app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
KMXP HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDAWN.
Gunman at large in a mass shooting. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. A mass shooting in Birmingham, Alabama, late Saturday. At least 4 people are dead, 18 others hurt. Birmingham Police Department's public information officer is Truman Fitzgerald. He says several law enforcement agencies are involved in the ongoing investigation.
We have reached out to our partners with the ATF. We have reached out to our partners with the FBI. You will have a plethora of law enforcement agencies assisting the Birmingham Police Department.
The suspected shooters remain at large, according to police. Northern Israel's scrambling for shelter as Hezbollah fired at least 100 rockets from their vantage points inside of Lebanon into northern Israel. Fox's Mike Tobin has more from Tel Aviv, Israel.
As promised by Hezbollah leadership, the rocket fire into Israel has increased both with frequency and the distance they are penetrating into Israel. The rocket fire continued really all night long. The drones have been flying. The greatest intensity of the rocket barrages was between 6 and 7 a.m. local time. While Israel says the defense systems are effective most of the time, several rockets did get through, striking an area called Kiryat Bialik, very near the port city of Haifa. With the greatest penetration of Israel since the 2006 Lebanon war, the Israeli Air Force has increased the frequency of attacks in southern Lebanon. An IDF spokesman says some 400 launchers for rockets and missiles were hit.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu releasing a video statement today. He said that Israel in the past few days has inflicted a series of blows on Hezbollah that it never imagined. The Prime Minister also said that Israel will do everything necessary to restore security. At least 34 people are reported dead after a methane leak caused an explosion at a coal mine in eastern Iran. America's listening to Fox News.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts. Interesting people are talking to Will Kane.
I said, what do I call you? I call you Dwayne. I call you The Rock. He said, now that I own it, I can call you The Rock.
Yes, I own it now. You can call me The Rock.
Our next guest needs no introduction. It is Dr. Jordan Peterson, my old friend and frenemy, Stephen A. Smith.
What is going on here? I see the Will Kane show in the background. I see the microphone.
Watch it live at noon Eastern, Monday through Thursday on foxnews.com and get the podcast 5 days a week at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
For the best in sports talk on both the local and national scenes, join Ken Thompson for SportsX Radio Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. right here on 101.5 FM KDAWN and streaming live on the Odyssey app. AUDACY. Download our free app now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Oh, man, that hour is so nice. We're going to do it twice. Welcome back to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. It's the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment right here on KDAWN, and, of course, streaming on the Odyssey app, and also live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So you can hop into those chat boxes, say hi. Let's hear what you think about everything going on in the world of pro wrestling. It's a lot. And we always enjoy the fan input as well. So fire away. Let us know what you're thinking. We got Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling along for the ride in the co-pilot seat. Very happy to have you with us. Stu, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. By the way, I just saw breaking news from NFL Network. Mercury Morris, the legendary Dolphins running back, dead at the age of 77.
Wow. Rest in peace, Mercury Morris. He was something.
Yeah, part of the 1972 undefeated Dolphins Super Bowl champion team.
Still never happen again, especially the 17-game schedule. I don't think it's ever going to happen again.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Just keep popping the champagne, guys. You'll be enjoying it. Of course, a ton of news. Of course, we covered everything that was happening with the AEW TV and HBO Max deal in the first hour. So if you want to hear about that, go back and rewind that on the Odyssey app. Check out the podcasts, and of course, this live stream will be up on YouTube as well. There's a lot of interesting movements going on and a lot of jockeying for a few people. And of course, I'm going to start with the touchy one, and that is the guy known as Miro, who has apparently requested his release from AEW. Of course, if you were a WWE fan, you knew him as Rusev. But he apparently wants out. And he hasn't wrestled a match for quite a while. It's been since last year. And the reports are that he's been refusing creative. And they can't come up with anything that's making him happy to get him in the ring. And Miro wants to go bye-bye. He's on a big deal. He's making about $1 million a year. With about, I think he's signed till 2026, if I'm correct. This is tricky, Stu. Should AEW make him sit this thing out if those reports are correct that he's being difficult to deal with? Or should they just cut bait, come to an agreement, and get him out of there? What do you think?
That is a tricky one. Look, it's 2 years left on your deal. So you could sit at home and make the money, or get your freedom now. Can you go back to WWE? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Can you find a spot in TNA or Major League Wrestling or NWA? I'm of the ilk, and especially since I haven't used them in at least a year and a half. It'd almost be worth it. Find a way to, come to some sort of an agreement where you don't have to pay out the whole remainder of the contract, but give him some sort of package and let him go on his merry way, because it's not like it. Apparently, you don't need him. So yeah, I'd say cut bait. Give him a nice payoff, and let him do. I mean, he's gone through some stuff, in his personal life, and I actually got to meet him a few years ago when AEW was here in Austin. Nice fella, he and I chatted. I think he was living in Nashville at the time, and he and I were chatting about that a little bit, So I'd say cut bait. Let him go. You don't need him.
Yeah, and with a lot of these guys that we're talking about right now, guys like Danny Garcia, the Lucha Brothers. We just saw the Motor City Machine Guns. I don't know if we've officially seen a confirmation, but apparently they're in WWE. They're interesting cases because I don't know if either major promotion really needs them per se. And like I love Daniel Garcia, for example, and I think he's got a bright future, but I don't see him as a WWE guy. You know what I mean? It just doesn't have the look of a WWE wrestler. Now, maybe that's going to change and you find a way, because apparently they really want to get him, and he's terrific in the ring. You will never get me to say anything bad about Daniel Garcia in the ring. He impresses me every time he goes out. And the Lucha Brothers, as great as they are, the way the WWE handles tag teams sometimes, I don't know how that's going to work out either. But does WWE need the Lucha Brothers? I don't know. And same thing with Miro. I mean, if he walks in the door, what do you do with him? because it's kind of been there, done that, and you'd have to totally reinvent his character. And apparently it's not the easiest thing to do. So this is intriguing, but it brings up a bigger topic about, if you're not using somebody, what do you do with them? Do you keep them sitting there, or you realize, hey, you know what, let's just come to an agreement and, send you out the door.
Yeah.
Sometimes promotions are very spiteful about that. We've seen that done quite a few times where somebody's been on a contract, they wanted to go, and especially WWE said, you can relax for a while. We don't really want you going anywhere else. Just, kick back, get your check. It's a difficult spot for these promotions to handle, but also I think sometimes the talent needs to know where they are in the stratosphere of being in an organization, especially if you're thinking going to AEW, WWE, where are you going to really end up? I was talking about this on the True Heel podcast on yesterday, and said, I want you to picture WrestleMania main event, Roman Reigns against Daniel Garcia. It doesn't sound right yet. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to put a cap on Daniel Garcia's career, but all I'm saying is you have to know where you're at. And, Rusev, if he goes back, let's say he goes back and he's Rusev, do you see Rusev challenging Cody Rhodes right now, or Gunther? I don't know. That doesn't sound like a match that too many people are going to get excited about. So, it's a very sticky situation for these guys. But you have a guy like Kevin Owens out there, for example, whose contract's coming up. Now, that's a guy that I'll break the bank for. That's a main event world championship level performer. So what do you think about that, Stu? I mean, what's your, I mean, you work for indies and stuff too. So you see guys come and go. What do you think?
It is intriguing with all the moves. First, Daniel Garcia, it depends, and with a lot of the talent, it just depends on what they're going to put behind him as far as their character, as far as what they present in the ring. I think Daniel Garcia could be a name in WWE. However, I think, at least as of right now, it's probably good to maybe see if they can make something, try to build himself up in AEW. Lucha Brothers are a unique situation because, yes, their presentation, everything, it's fantastic. They'd be a fantastic tag team in WWE. But there's a couple things to think about. First of all, let's look at injury history, especially Phoenix.
Yep.
Ray Phoenix has been injured quite a bit. We had AAW here in Austin. They were here in Austin, and it was Lucha Brothers. I think it was Lucha Brothers against Santana and Ortiz back in the day. And he got injured that night. I was in the back. I was helping him, had him on, trying to get him situated. So, going to WWE, what's that going to look like? Now, yes, WWE style might be a little less impactful, although from what we have seen in recent months, they may be getting a little bit closer to what we see in AEW. So, I don't know. Rusev or Miro, Rusev, whatever you want to call him, I think that could be a deal where you just insert him back as Rusev. They've got to, I think they'd have to redo the whole Rusev Day thing, to get him over. Could he challenge for a mid-card title? Sure. Could he challenge for a world title? We'll see.
See, I don't think he's going to be happy if he's not challenging for a world championship. That's kind of stuff that people have been telling me, that he feels like he should be at the top, one way or another. And I don't know. I mean, look, I like the guy. I like watching him wrestle, but I don't know. I don't know if he can pull it off. And you're talking about the Lucha Brothers too, that their style isn't necessarily a WWE style.
No.
So they're probably going to have to tone it back a little bit to fit in to WWE, which could help Ray Phoenix, but you're also to a point taking away what makes them special.
Yeah.
You know, and when these luchador tag teams have shown up in WWE, the track record is not good. You know, so I would be thinking twice. And by the way, just saying, they couldn't have signed yet. It's impossible. They're still under contract. So you can't do that.
Ricky Starks.
Yeah, Ricky
another
Starks is another
big
one.
name out there. And and look, I see Ricky on occasion because he'll come out to Inspire After Death because he's of course one of our greatest champions ever. He lives here in Austin. There's been a lot of talk about, does Ricky want to go to WWE? He's worked NXT before, back when he was still doing independence. He would do the one-offs. He's worked a match with Kane back in the day. So yeah, I could see him, being a WWE guy. But again, it's interesting. Again, it has to be the right presentation, it has to be the right storyline, whatever. But hey, I guess it could happen.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got a little more flash, a little more, and his body looks better too. I mean, he's a good looking guy. Another guy that when these conversations start coming up is Wardlow. And there's a guy who I cannot understand what is going on with him. That man, I still remember the night at Double or Nothing when they were here, and he put MJF through tables like 10 powerbombed like 10 or 12 times or something like that. It was ridiculous. That guy had world champion written all over him. And that is one person that if he left AEW, went to WWE, I think Wardlow would fit in very well with the WWE style. But it just boggles my mind that AEW isn't using him. I mean, it's been God knows how long, and he's healthy. So that's another guy. And it kind of spins back to the question: if you're not using somebody, what are you doing with them there? Just let him go.
Well, it also talks to the size of the AEW roster. We've said for the last year or so, AEW roster is too big. They've got. I mean, there's got to be some culling. If you have a set amount of TV time to devote to these folks. 2 hours on Dynamite, an hour on Rampage, 2 hours on Collision. So 5 hours a week. And, we love Tony Khan, but he has his favorites. He has the guys he wants to showcase. And it is to the detriment of guys like Wardlow, Ricky Starks, Daniel Garcia, what have you. It could be where maybe they need to shrink the roster a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't debate that. And you look at a guy like Ethan Page, who was buried in AEW. Now he's the NXT champion. I mean, he walked in the door and basically won the NXT title. Now it is a matter of presentation. It's a matter of understanding these guys, and and some of it is who like a lot of the Cody Rhodes guys. He's got a little pull in that locker room.
Yeah.
So very interesting what's going on with some of these contracts. But Kevin Owens, before we go to break, I want to talk about him a little bit. Stu, it would seem like it would be the decision for him would be that he would stay with WWE. I won't say though, it wouldn't be fun to see him go to AEW and maybe turn a little bit of that Kevin Steen loose. You know what I mean? And he's got some players he knows over there. It's kind of reminds me of Natty. Kevin's been used. He's been staying at the top of the card, but hasn't won a singles championship for 7 years now. Which is crazy to me. Now he got involved with the tag team situation with Sammy, and got to main event a night of WrestleMania, which is awesome. But and I think there's something coming with Kevin. Obviously, he's getting ready to turn on Cody, thank God. And let's get that mean Kevin Owens back. But I just wonder, what is the best decision for Kevin's career? And I think what you said is it what do you want to accomplish? Are you happy being where you're at, or do you maybe see, I would like to challenge myself and try and get to this point with the other organization?
I think I recall Kevin Owens saying at one time that he was perfectly happy with WWE and would stay there till, whenever. If it was a matter of, does he go to AEW? And I read somewhere, I forget who it was, somebody, putting out the theory maybe he'll reform Scum from his early Ring of Honor days.
Wow.
Which, okay, that's fine, except for the fact, again, and a lot of this has to do with when AEW does some of these things, calling back to something that happened 10, 15 years ago, they don't smarten up their fan base.
Yeah.
Because there are those that are watching this that didn't watch Ring of Honor back, around 2010 or so. They gotta let people know, why does this matter? They've done a little bit with Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson, showing some of their history in Ring of Honor. They got to do more of that, though. If Kevin Steen comes to AEW, they got to show some of the stuff with Scum, with and what he did. So the feud with El Generico. They got to do that stuff, and unfortunately, Tony Khan doesn't do that often enough. And so you'll get him come back, and fan base be going, "Okay, it's Kevin Owens from WWE."
Yeah,
and nobody knows that old history.
Yeah, I think sometimes that they do assume that the AEW fan is maybe a smarter, more knowledgeable history type fan, and I think sometimes you can't make that assumption. Like when I do this show, I could assume that everybody out there is a pro wrestling fan, knows what I'm talking about, but I know I'm talking to a more casual audience. So I kind of set things up a little bit and explain things more, because you have to do that. And I think sometimes AEW does forget to do that. You are right about that. But yeah, I do miss me some Kevin Steen though. I'm such a Ring of Honor guy. It's sad, I know, but
No,
I miss
not
him.
sad at all.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Kevin Owens as his contract expires at the end of the year. I do want to remind everybody, we got a contest going on our website. If you haven't gone to markhokeshow.com, we got our exciting Power Play Sports Collectibles Super Signature Contest, where every week we're giving away an autographed photo of a professional wrestler, courtesy of Power Play Sports Collectibles. You can go to powerplaysportscards.com and check out everything they've got over there. Ton of collectibles, autographed pictures of athletes, wrestlers. But all you have to do is go on our YouTube channel. Every week, there's 3 Power Play passwords hidden in the descriptions of the videos we put up. All you got to do then is find the 3 of them. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube. Go on the website, click on the message button, and then put in your subscriber name and the passwords, and you're in the drawing to win that photograph of the week. So make sure you check that out. And of course, also go to powerplaysportscards.com. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, AEW Grand Slam's coming up, Stu. Let's get ready for it. Let's do it. I can't wait. It's going to be a hell of a day. Oh, Nigel's back in the ring. Woohoo! Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show.
Imagine a sandbox without the box. Coral pink dunes between your toes. The roar of an engine racing over hills of sand. And riding a stallion through the red rocks. Visit a small town surrounded by national parks. Try the best food around. And let your family explore the Wild West. In Kanab, Utah, you can let imagination go. Go to visitsouthernutah.com and start your adventure.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Todd is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd, and I live in Georgia. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I love to give back to the community, whether it's my fellow veterans, some guy on the street corner. I offer what I can when I can. I started noticing that my memory was slipping, and I wanted to take proactive measures to try to help that. I saw a Prevagen commercial, and I did some research on it, and I wanted to find out, does this stuff really work? I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. Since taking Prevagen, I feel clearer in my thoughts, my memory has improved, and generally just more on point.
Prevagen is available in stores everywhere without a prescription. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Join the Vegas Chamber today. Being a member of the Vegas Chamber sends a powerful message of credibility and that your business is connected to a larger community of organizations dedicated to ensuring Nevada is a great place to live, work, and do business. Joining the Vegas Chamber and becoming part of the largest business organization in Nevada has never been easier. Grow your business within your budget. Visit vegaschamber.com and join today. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that's jamming it out. Having a great time here on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, coming right at you from Las Vegas on 1015 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas, the Odyssey app, and we're also live streaming the show on YouTube, X, and Facebook. So get on in there and say hi to us. We would certainly appreciate it. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the show. Always happy to have Stu joining us. You can follow him at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRICK, and check out Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Awesome show. Having fun yet, Stu?
Always.
All right.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so you know.
Oh, nice. Where are you headed?
Aruba.
Oh, I love Aruba. All the water is just perfect. Have a great time down there.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it.
Staying at the Radisson?
No, I'm staying at the Amsterdam Manor.
Ooh,
it's on Eagle Beach.
Nice.
It's supposed to be really cool.
Okay, so the Amsterdam Manor start calling and leaving Stu messages at 2 a.m. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be terrible. AEW Grand Slam on Wednesday. We finally got a break from pay-per-views, but this is about as close as you're going to get without being one. An entertaining night coming up on Wednesday, and I think Tony Khan's going to be making some announcements that are actually going to be legit. We'll see. But a lot of matches that are going to be on Dynamite, and then a few coming up on Collision. This one, the first one that's on the board right now, I think is kind of intriguing. Jeff Jarrett in a strap match with Hangman Adam Page. This one's been building for a while too. And you would expect Page to win, but, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, I would love to see Jeff Jarrett win this match. I really would, Stu.
Oh, I would too. Look, I've said before on this show, I'm a huge fan of Jeff's. He's a good guy. I would love to see it if for no other reason Jeff could, put a little old school over on Hangman. And I'll be honest, this whole angry Hangman, I'm not a fan. I don't know if maybe I'm just so used to him being the moody millennial or whatever, but this whole angry, hates the world. It's like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I don't dig it. So yeah, I'd love to see Jeff Jarrett get the win.
Yeah, see, I'm just the opposite. I couldn't stand the grumpy, the sad millennial guy. That wasn't Hangman to me. This is a very cruel and entertaining Hangman. So I'm down with it. But Jeff Jarrett, if there's anybody can get down and dirty with him, it's going to be him.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a terrific match and a great learning experience for Hangman Adam Page to get to do a strap match with Jeff Jarrett. What an honor that's going to be for him.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. It should be a hell of a match.
We got Mariah May challenging or defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Yuka Sakazaki. Mariah's going to win.
Yeah, not much to say about that one.
Yeah, it's kind of all right.
Might be the precursor to Mina Shinakawa coming back.
There you go. Yuka's cute though. No, she's fun. The character's kind of a peppy. We'll just say that. This one's going to be interesting. Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club in a TBA match against of course, an unknown opponent for the AEW World Trios title. We've got drama with Wheeler Yuta, not happy with what happened with Bryan Danielson for the rest of the boys, and a mystery opponent to boot. This has potential to be chaotic at its highest level, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of this one. I guess just because, the overriding story will be, can Wheeler Yuta still work with Claudio and Pac after what happened at All Out? And the mystery opponent, look, if it's, I hate to say this, but unless it's somebody debuting, nobody's going to care.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's kind of like, all right, whatever. Or if maybe, I could see it maybe the Bang Bang Gang, but I don't think anybody would care unless Jay White's back. And from what I've heard, he's not back yet. So it's kind of like, all right, let's see what happens with Yuta. Does Yuta fall in line, or does he break off in honor of his compatriot Bryan Danielson?
You know who it could be, since you're talking of debuts?
Who?
Some modified Hurt Business.
The Hurt Syndicate.
Yes, maybe Bobby Lashley and the boys show up.
That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that. I'm a big fan of Shelton Benjamin, big fan of Bobby Lashley, MVP. I think he could still go.
Maybe put him in there with Hobbs.
Manager. And yeah, maybe Hobbs comes back as part of that Hurt Syndicate. That could be fun. That one, yeah. If they come out, absolutely, that's going to make it really interesting.
Give me the book. Give me the book, Stu. I got it all covered.
Book.
We got Okada and Sammy Guevara. This is an interesting one. A Continental Championship Eliminator match. So Guevara wins. He can't challenge Okada for the title, even though I didn't realize that was a big deal. But if Guevara wins, he gets a title shot at the 5-year anniversary show.
Mm-hmm.
What a shot for Sammy Guevara coming, starting to make his comeback in AEW to get a match with Okada. Wow.
Yeah, this comes out of the, he and Dustin defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles against Bennett and Taven in the Bunkhouse Brawl and Collision. So Sammy calling his shot. I love Sammy to death. Sammy's one of my boys. So I would love to see Sammy get some love here and even go over Okada. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's a great chance for Sammy to maybe pull some, get some goodwill back under his name as well. We got the Bucks taking on Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, defending their AEW World Tag Team titles. I should be excited about this, Stu, but I'm not. I don't know why. I know Ospreay and Fletcher have their past relationship, but I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem like Will Ospreay challenging for the tag titles makes a lot of sense to me.
I think it's a matter of Tony heard the criticisms about the Bucks not defending the titles very often. So now we're going to see him defend. Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, of course, going back to the United Empire days. It's an intriguing tag team. I don't think the Bucks are going to lose, but it's an intriguing tag team.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see where it goes after this match. If maybe Ospreay is going to be mixing it up with the Bucks and that the Elite, and but to me, it sounds like more of a story builder than anything else.
Well, and there's the question about where what's with Don Callis family.
Yeah,
because we don't know where they're going. Takeshita is supposed to be a heel, but he had some babyface moments, over the last week or so. What's going on with the Don Callis family? And it's a little confusing, quite honestly.
Yeah, maybe send Don over with the Elite. That wouldn't be bad. I'd get
been with him before.
Yeah, that's true. We've got the match to me of the night, and once again, as a Ring of Honor guy, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this. Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness. It is not for the title, which, okay, that's makes this a little more intriguing, I think. But I am just so excited to see Nigel come in. I've interviewed Nigel, and I've gone to Nigel's magic show a couple of times when he did it here in Vegas. And every time I asked him, is he going to get back in the ring with Bryan? Am I going to see it all in? And he was like, I don't know. I guess you may have to wait and see, and being all coy about it. He was lying to me the whole time. He knew it. So now we finally get this match, and this should be so much fun. I cannot wait.
It's a match that everybody's looking forward to. Now, the way they got to this match,
that's questionable.
Oh my God, the logic is nowhere near it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was it was supposed to be Danielson against Darby Allin, because Darby Allin won the Royal Rampage. He got the title shot. Well, they do the stuff at All Out. Moxley comes out. He wants Allin, says Bryan's indisposed, so give me your title shot. Ends up being Darby versus Moxley for the title shot. And then Nigel McGuinness comes out challenging Bryan Danielson. Well, hold on. Bryan Danielson, at least storyline, is not clear to wrestle. And even on the graphic, the match graphic that has Danielson and McGuinness has that caveat: if Bryan is cleared to wrestle. And that's part of the problem. Okay, so you traded out a world title shot for 2 matches. And again, I love the matches, just the logic's not there. Kind of like when Cody gave up his title shot to Roman and then wanted it back at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same lapse of logic. So I get that.
Oh, just imagine if Danielson does not wrestle this match.
Well,
could you imagine if they pulled that? Oh boy.
Well, and see, that's the thing. So there's been a lot of talk about, I think as of right now, might be 5,000 tickets sold for this, which is like a half of what they had last year. Why not go with Bryan's going to be there? Try to sell some tickets, because now it's like, if I'm in New York, I see this card, I see that match, and then it says if Bryan is cleared to wrestle. Well, if he's not cleared to wrestle, why am I going to waste my money?
Right. Yeah.
So, again, there's some missing logic there.
Yeah.
I'd be trumpeting that match for sure if no other reason, just to bump the ticket sales up a bit.
Yeah. My thought on this was I would like to have seen this match at World's End, where you're competing against that house show in Orlando on the same night. Now I'm thinking, okay, I've got to sell tickets and make sure the pay-per-view the audience is filled. How am I going to do it? That match, main event, AEW World Championship would have done it, I think. So that's my big hesitancy on this, other than the logic stuff, which you are completely correct. But I just would have liked more of a build to this. But,
Well,
who knows? With it not being for the World Championship, maybe we're going to get a series between the two.
Well, and that's the thing, because Brian's not going to have the title, at World's End. It would look, if you look at this card logically, it would seem like, okay, Moxley beats Darby, gets that title shot, then it's Moxley versus Bryan at Wrestle Dream. Moxley beats him, Danielson retires in his home state. It would have made more sense to have Darby challenge Bryan, since they're both from Washington State. But and then throw in this whole Moxley and I guess there's still the Blackpool Combat Club wanting to take over AEW. Well, what happened to the Elite trying to take over AEW? How many people are going to try to take over AEW?
Let them all try.
You got too many streams crossing. That's what we learned that in Ghostbusters. Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Right now, we got too many streams crossing.
Well, there's another stream there too, because Christian Cage has that contract as well. So that's hanging out there. So just brace yourself for that too. That could play into this whole thing over the next few months. I don't think he's going to cash it in at Grand Slam, but it's coming. It's coming. And I think World's End may be the place they do it, but we'll see on that. Let's get a break, and then let's finish this matchup. And then we got Moxley and Darby, the match we've been talking about too, for Darby's AEW World Championship title shot, which you were talking about logic too. I was like, if I was Darby, I've been like, nah, no, you're not getting my title shot. What'd you do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice of you to come out and at least ask me, but no, I'm not giving it to you. That was my thought on that whole thing. Was I would say no. Get a couple friends around me and just, all right, so you're going to beat me up. You beat me up before. It's all good. But I wouldn't give it up.
Agree.
So, just me.
Sense,
but it should be a great match, though.
Should be fun. And I could see a scenario where Darby gets a win here, if for another reason, what you just mentioned. So Darby gets the win. Darby challenges Bryan at Wrestle Dream. We get to Wrestle Dream. Bryan wins that match. And then here comes Christian Cage cashing in. Christian beats Bryan. Christian's world champion.
Yeah,
it's not going to last the World's End.
All right. I don't know. Maybe we should have a cup of coffee bet on that or something. Not that I drink coffee, but I think he holds till World's End. We'll see. All right, let's take a break. And when we come back, you mentioned this earlier in the show, Stu. Saturday night's main event's back. Yeah. WWE and the McMahons are getting sued in one of the most ridiculous lawsuits you're ever going to hear about, and a whole lot more. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back on the Mark Hoke Show. Stu Myrick with me. Stick around.
In the morning, things can happen that will impact your entire day.
What's the weather going to be? Are they going to have troubles getting to work? Are they going to be able to go to that picnic they've been planning?
Our News 3 Today team deals with the same things you deal with.
The most important thing about the mornings is making sure that you all start your day off prepared.
We know we live in a 24-hour town, and information is power.
I'm Evan Schreiber. I keep you alert at the live desk.
I'm News 3 meteorologist Chloe Coase.
I'm River Cardwell, your traffic authority.
I'm Kim Wagner. Watch News 3 Today starting at 4 a.m. weekdays.
Monday on NBC, 2 can't-miss premieres.
First, The Voice is back with 4 superstar coaches.
Reba McEntire,
Gwen Stefani,
Michael Bublé,
and Snoop Dogg.
Then it's the premiere of an emotional new drama.
Brilliant Minds.
Zachary Quinto stars as a devoted neurologist who will do anything to help his patients.
2 spectacular premieres.
The Voice, followed by Brilliant Minds.
Monday on NBC.
Monday night at 8 on News 3.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. That's why our Lowe's Red Vest associates can help with game time decisions. Plus, use in-store mode on the Lowe's app to find what you need. Under pressure at home and want it soon? Order online by 2 p.m. to get it same day. Same day valid on eligible in-stock items and select zip codes only, subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. Exclusions and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Hey, football fans, looking to get in on the action every day of the week this season? Just check out BetMGM Ultimate Teams. It's free to play. Visit your promotions page each weekday, and you'll receive an Ultimate Teams card with a pro football team and spread. If the team on your card covers the spread that Sunday, you'll score a prize. Rewards include Parlay Boost tokens, Odds Boost tokens, SGP Parlay Boost tokens, No Sweat tokens, and bonus bets. If all 5 of the teams on your cards cover their spreads for the week, you'll have a shot to score our grand prize of up to $1,000. Log into your BetMGM account to get started, then visit your promotions page and click on BetMGM Ultimate Teams to get your cards. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Nevada only. Existing customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary by market and expire within 24 hours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, mgmresorts.com/GameSense.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's do this one more time, baby, shall we? All right, let's do it. Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. Happy to have you join us on your Sunday morning here in Las Vegas or wherever you are around the world tuning in. We appreciate it. Stu Myrick with me from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. And before you dig into everything, just got to remind everybody about our good friends at Off Grid Creations. If you're looking to get merchandise done, shirts, or just need to pep your brand up, they do free brand consultations. You want to go to Off Grid Creations. They're amazing. Mike and his team, did this really cute shirt that I've got on. We got some banners and towels done and everything. And he can do whatever you need. It's amazing. I've been to his the business and the press and everything. He's got it all covered. So do me a favor, go to off-gridcreations.com if you need anything done. It's off-gridcreations.com, or give Mike a call, 661-300-1115, 661-300-1115, and get a free consultation today with Mike and his team, and they will take great care of you. Maybe Sports Guys Talking Wrestling needs some new gear, and they can give Mike a call.
Ooh. I mean, I got a spot here in Austin, but who knows? Maybe I will give him a call. Hey, by the way, I just saw this.
Yeah.
So you got Bad Blood coming up October 5 in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
If you have not heard about this, so the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff marching band.
Oh yeah,
UAPB, and I've been to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. They have been invited to play at Bad Blood.
Ooh.
They did Cody Rhodes' theme song during the halftime of their game against the Razorbacks back on August 29th. So apparently WWE saw it. They've invited him to Atlanta, so Cody might get a marching band to play him out to the ring coming up on October 5th.
Oh, that's amazing. And then Roman Reigns is just going to run out and knock them all over. It's a possibility. But yeah, that's awesome. So hey, get a marching band at Bad Blood. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Probably won't have a marching band at Saturday night's main event, but Stu, you and I are of the age where we know of spending Saturday nights in front of that TV. And December 14th, 8 p.m. Eastern, that'll be on NBC and simulcast on Peacock, out of the first site of Saturday night's main event, the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Saturday night's main event is back. We are hoping for a Jesse Ventura opportunity here, and I know we saw a comment in the chat box about that, saying, Jesse Hyde said, we hope WWE bring back Jesse Ventura for commentary in the return of Saturday night's main event for the true old feels of the show, and I would be quite okay with that. Stu, are you excited? And just real fast, how big should the main event be? Because I was fighting about it. I said, you know what? Give me Cody and Roman on Saturday night's main event. Let's do it. What do you think?
That's a possibility. Now they got Survivor Series coming up before that. They got Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia coming up before that. So a couple other opportunities. By the way, when you saw that it was in Long Island, New York, I hope I'm not the only one that thought of MJF. Oh, that's all I could think of was him saying the most magical place on earth, Long Island, New York. Now that's just weird. You know, Max and I have a weird relationship, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm excited for this. You think back to the days, when it was on late night on NBC, he would take the place of Saturday Night Live, which honestly was in a kind of a low point in their existence. By the way, Saturday Night Live, 50 years. But they were in a low point, so WWE came up with this, this concept. Let's put wrestling on late Saturday nights. Now this is going to be a primetime event on that Saturday night, in Long Island. Yeah, they do need to make it a pretty good main event. Like I said, I don't think you do Cody Roman because I think you've got them probably at Crown Jewel. But definitely I would see maybe Gunther against somebody believable that, somebody that might have a chance to win.
Maybe Punky Brewster.
CM Punk could be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Saturday Night Main Event. Having Jesse the Body on there, I don't know if he hasn't done commentary. I don't think since he left WCW.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I mean, 30 years, at least 30 years ago. Would he be up for that? That's my question.
I think he would. I think he'd be all right. Give me some body just for one night. See how it goes.
I mean, look, I would love to see, the late great Mean Gene Okerlund, who I got to meet a few years ago. Wonderful man, and of course, an absolute legend on the mic. That would be really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Jesse get behind the mic again, for no other reason, just for that night. But yeah, it should be a fun show.
Yeah, another guy that's flying around, by the way, JBL has been making all these appearances. The last one in MLW, and we got to keep this a little bit tight, Stu. But the appearances of JBL all over the wrestling universe. Jim Ross came out and said, "I just think he's bored." Is there a purpose to this other than JBL's bored?
That may be it. He can make some money, have some fun. Why not?
Yeah, get the fans talking. So, but something's telling me there's a method to this madness. Something's telling me JBL's going to get back in the ring, but we'll see. But pretty interesting on that front. Another interesting thing is there has been a lawsuit filed against WWE and the McMahons, and brace yourselves for this. A lawsuit filed by a guy named Leland Owens is alleging that WWE owed him unpaid wages and that Linda McMahon's quote-unquote role as a senator, she didn't win that election, was a cover-up to the money owed to him. Also in the lawsuit, Vince and Stephanie McMahon had them disguised themselves as agents, stealing his ideas. And also he pitched ideas to Bryan Danielson, Triple H, and Mercedes Moné via Instagram. They were all stolen as well. And Bryan and Mercedes were supposedly given the role of sending Owens hush money for comments made about Stephanie McMahon. that was not delivered. What the hell? Are you kidding me? Stu Steven. This is great.
As they say, anybody can sue anybody for anything. Doesn't mean it's legit.
I think somebody was smoking the WWE official crack pipe.
Man,
that's unbelievable, isn't it? But I saw that story today. I had to mention it because that is. Hey, good luck, Mr. Owens. I wish you all the best. All the best. Have a great time. So whatever. But that's another fun lawsuit. By the way, got to mention to everybody, and I didn't get to tell you this, Stu, starting on October the 10th, Mark Hoke Show late night. We talked about doing a Thursday night show, and it is going to be official. We're going to be doing it. So Mark Hoke Show late night version with all your cast of crazies, and be a little different from this show. We're going to be a little less newsy and a lot more. We'll go the sports entertainment route. I've got some plans for this thing. Okay. So get ready. October 10th, Thursday night. We'll be starting around 8:15 to 8:30 ballpark as soon as I can get done with my duties here at KDAWN. Stu, thank you so much for joining us from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling at Stu Myrick. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it, bud.
Yep, you got it. And follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube. Subscribe right now, please, at The Mark Hoke Show. And, of course, markhokeshow.com for all your show information. Podcasts available at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. And, of course, keep listening to us on KDAWN. We certainly appreciate it. Guys, have a terrific Sunday here in Las Vegas and wherever you are around the country or the world. We appreciate you listening. Have a great one.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show. Like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show. And visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Terrible.